All right, welcome everybody to the N.e.r.d podcast. I'm your host, the corny one, Jason. We're sitting here today with, I guess, we got to admit, let's just go in and break it to you because I know you guys are looking at the screen or probably going to hear and be like, I thought he was fired. So, guys, we
apparently
have
there's
legal
a
stuff
higher
going
office.
on. Yeah, there's legal stuff going on that we can't talk about on the show. But until that's resolved, welcome back, Jaron. Welcome back to the show. How's it going, Jaron?
Until further notice, I will be your affirmative action hire for the foreseeable future. Glad to be here, and glad that we're not allowed to talk about the details surrounding that.
You know, it'd be so funny if we get a guest in the show. There's another white dude, and Jaren's sick or something, and we just put Jaren.
Just call him Jaren.
Yeah.
Like, hey, just type Jaren into the thing on the bottom.
I would not. I would think it'd be funny.
I did not know discrimination suits work the other way. When there's only one white guy, we fire him. That doesn't look good on paper. So anyway, our other host, as always, we have the Duke of all nerds, Jason number A. What's going on, Jason? How's it going?
Hi from beautiful Jacksonville, Florida, home of jean shorts, methamphetamines, and fighting family members.
Bath salts.
Bath salts.
Oh, man. Have you seen Florida Man?
Yes. Every day I've been here.
All right. Well, guys, as always, before we jump into the great product that we have for you today, we are going to talk about top 3 sci-fi Star Wars. That is not Star Wars and not Star Trek. We're also going to talk about Dune, because I know everybody's been talking about that and have seen it. Also, we're going to talk about Injustice. They came out with a DC animated universe movie for the Injustice series. And then we're going to finish up our reviews with Ron Gone Wrong. And then we're going to have a nice little fun culture talk about what makes us mad in the culture. But before you hear all this great stuff or any of these segments, please remember to like, share, subscribe, and follow us on Head Canon Circus on YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, Anchor FM, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. And like Jaron always likes to remind me, that's why I'm so glad to have him back on the show. Make sure you hit the bell to be notified when we bring that heat to you, like every single week. Yeah. All right, guys. I think you guys had something to get out. Let me let you get it off your chest before we first start the first segment. Anything you
Every
guys
time you
say?
say Apple Podcast, I think you're saying apple pie, and I'm like, I could go for some apple pie.
You know, I actually watched the American Pie the other day, the first one, and I was like, man, this movie was so much funnier when I thought I could put my penis in a pie and it would work. So
when I was
after that
13 years old, I asked my brother Maurice if it did feel like a warm apple pie. And he was like,
and what did he say?
Yeah. I guess it does.
Seems like what Reese would say. There's a new segment we're going to be trying out. It is going to be called Things That Make Us Mad in the Culture. But what makes us mad in the culture? I guess I'll start because I did start this segment or brought it up because I thought it'll be an interesting conversation. The thing that makes me mad in the culture is the culture of the nerd culture is almost quasi anti-black. And we include ourselves in this culture very well. We contribute to this culture. We love this culture. But when I say it's anti-black, is that anytime a move is made in the culture that adds diversity, the culture backlashes against like that character, but they don't realize they're backlashing against us as well because we want representation. When we go and they do a Riri Williams or at one point Miles Morales and etc., and they're like, "Oh, Superman is this person, or Spider-Man is this person, or this is Iron Man." Like we want our people too. We want people that look like us, that sound like us, that talk like us, that work like us. The biggest moment that we can talk about with anti-blackness in our culture, in this nerd culture, I would say the biggest one I give is Static Shock. Why has Static Shock never gotten a movie yet? Static Shock was very, very popular. Static Shock is a known character in the DC universe, but yet we never got a movie. Yeah, never got a movie for him. But they'll throw out a Blue Beetle, which, again, my Latino brothers and sisters, I'm with you, and I can't wait till it comes out. I'm right there all the way. But we're getting all these characters that they're doing to try to revitalize this tragic DC universe when the easiest way you could have done it is you could have made a Static Shock one. Because you know what? Every time you've given us a black legitimate superhero with his own title, it makes money and we come out and see it. Black Panther, Blade. We can go to it. We go through the list. Anytime, even as tragic and terrible as Steel was, black people still want to see Steel because it was shacking it. And it was god awful. My point is that we have a disciple, we have a area, and we have a love of all this stuff too, but we don't see ourselves in a lot of this stuff. And the characters we do see ourselves in, we never get to see them on the grandest stages. We never get to see them play integral parts in things. Like, shout out to Young Justice for making Black Lightning the leader of the Justice League at the end of it, but we still ain't seen this Joker since. Like, they did all that, and it was like,
season. Haven't
yeah,
seen his
they
ass.
seen, yeah, they told, oh, well, Black Lightning said, like, no, show Black Lightning saying that. Show him being the head ninja in charge, man. Don't just give us that lip service. So I hate that even when we get to the cosplay situation, when it comes to Black people in the culture, whenever we cosplay as somebody that's not our color, you get another backlash from the culture that's like, well, why are you wearing that? You know, it's plenty of people that look like you that you could dress up as, and blah, blah, blah. Like, these are made up people and human beings. Like, these are made up things.
They're not
Who cares what color they are when you cosplay as them? Because you show your love and affection for that character. But it's almost like the diaspora of the nerd and geek thing. They don't want Blackness involved. And then when we do try to get involved, they treat it as like, oh, it's like a woke movement, or, oh, you're just trying to take what's ours. It's always this aggravation rather than celebrating that many people from different races and cultures enjoy the same thing that you enjoy. You want to be equal, you want to kill racism, you want to do all that. That's the easy way to do it. You have a common ground, but for some reason, it's always met with hostility when it comes to things that include Blackness. And I mean Blackness in particular because I am Black and I've experienced that from the culture. Or I get the, oh, you're into that? Like, from white people. And I'm like, yeah, like, why wouldn't I be? Oh, I just never met any Black person that's into like that. Like, for a while, long time, I got that for anime. I just never met a Black person that was into anime. Well, we can't like fucking cartoons that like, what is it? Because they gotta read? Is that what it is? Like, it's almost like I'm trying to figure out why do you think we wouldn't be into cool shit?
What is your response to that? I mean, who says
my
that?
response
There is
was,
no
why?
response
Because you gotta
to
read? No, that was my response.
Like,
why? Because I gotta read subtitles and we don't read? That's what you're trying to say? And when you say that, they get like, oh, whoa, I didn't say that. I'm like, well, why else would I want to be into cool stuff? Like, but it is a thought process that these things are not associated or quintessential to Blackness. And I hate that in the culture because we're one of the biggest buyers, suppliers, and viewers of this culture. And it seems like every time we get closer into being accepted, it's always a backlash of negativity that makes us just be like, fuck it, we got to do our own. You know, it's the sad thing that we can't just all be nerds. We got to be blurbs. You know why? Because we got to be Black nerds. Because we can't be just the nerd. So that is what I hate in the culture. I hate the anti-Blackness that runs through our culture because I feel like it's just propagated on bullshit. So that is my high horse. I'm jumping on down, hoping not to hurt my ankles as I come down. Jason or Jaron, which one of you guys want to go next? I figure it doesn't.
I've got one, but if Jason wants
go
to
ahead,
first,
Jaron. Go ahead, Jaron. I'll go last. I want
to give us a cool drink of a nice refreshing water, Jaron, after my heaviness there.
Jaron's gonna say diversity is the best. I'm kidding, Jaron. I'm sorry, Jaron.
I hate with these cosplayers just cosplay out of their race. No,
to your point, Jason.
Glad you brought it up, Jason. I've been meaning to talk to you. No, I think the thing that really kills me in our culture is it's the gender-based gatekeeping. When you have these guys that may feel like they consider nerddom or liking nerdy things and sharing that love with each other as kind of a place they've gone as a safe haven, and maybe they feel rejected by girls or something. But then you have girls that break through that and are like, yeah, I kind of dig this too. This is kind of awesome. Instead of meeting them with open arms and welcoming and being like, yeah, welcome to the world that we've created for ourselves, surrounded by all the things that we love. They're met with, well, what about this character? Do you know anything about this character? Tell me everything you know about this. And it's this bizarrely negative reaction to what my mind is a very positive outcome in this scenario for all involved. And they you've got this group of people, these Pizzagate motherfucking type of people that want to like just want to fuck it up. And I'm just like, you guys are fucking it up for yourselves, and you're fucking stupid, and I hate you for it. So yeah, I really dislike that about our thing. It happens entirely too often. And when I start to get that vibe, that incel vibe from some otherwise decent nerdy people that I hang out with, I do my best to distance myself fairly fucking quick.
Oh man, I love it. I love it. Um, Jason, the Duke of all nerds.
White people. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. Actually, I
Fair
think
point.
the thing that I don't like about, or this makes me mad, is a common. I mean, it's basically both of what you've both been saying, which is toxic masculinity and white supremacy, which have go hand in hand. The thing
They both
that
take large amounts of ignorance.
I mean, you need all of that for both those things.
Yeah.
The thing about geek and nerd culture was that it is not it's a safe space. Was supposed to be that it's a safe space for people who don't generally follow the more quote unquote traditional ideas of society, whether it be like, oh, I can go and be on the football team, I'm Tommy Tuckerville on the football team or whatever. It's supposed to be a place for those who are outcasts, right? And it's like, why are you trying to exclude other people, whether they be black, Hispanic, LGBTQ, whatever, from that space when that's what it was made for, was to have a place for those who don't necessarily fit in to that mainstream, toxic ideology. And I just like it's sad because like for me, a lot of these things were a place of safety, some place that I can retreat to because the real world sucks, because the real world is bad. And to find that this place, this thing that I love, these, whether it be Star Wars or Star Trek or fucking Harry Potter or anything, you find that there's people out there who also love these things but don't want me included, is like, or not just don't want me included, or just to not include other people who might love these things as well, just because of what arbitrary, circumstance of their birth is. It's unfathomable to me. It's like, how could you have been in this culture and this ideas? How could you have grown up watching Star Wars, grown up watching Star Trek, and been like, oh yeah, keep fucking women out of this? Like, how could you? How is that even passing by? Did you not listen?
Learn? Yeah,
did you not learn
anything? Yeah.
Right.
It's like you're the dialects now. You're the Death Eaters, and like there are people out there who want to be Death Eaters, and whatever with that. But like, you are the thing that we have placed in ourselves as the bad guys in this culture, and yet you want to do the exact same just so you can be special.
Yeah,
like,
right.
And it's like, and it gets even to the broader point, especially now that geek culture, quote unquote geek culture, is becoming more mainstream. It's even people like gatekeeping other people who are just like them, right? It's like, what, you played football growing up? You can't come in here and read our comic books. What the fuck? It's like, no, like everybody is supposed to be included in this. Everybody, like, this is what it's all been meant for, So like, it's really, really, really annoying to me that, if you say, oh, Superboy's bisexual, or maybe we're going to cast Michael B. Jordan as Superman or whatever, or we have a black stormtrooper, and someone's like, oh no, that's a bad idea. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself and die. All right? Like, just do that. Because, obviously you never really loved this shit to begin with because you didn't understand it at all.
The world would be a better place
So
without that person anyway. So
dig a hole. First, insert whatever sexual organ you have into yourself, and then cover yourself and stop breathing. That's my gatekeeping. If you're gatekeeping other motherfuckers, all right. So yeah, that pisses me off. Like, really.
Yeah.
Like,
All
I will
right.
throw hands.
It sounds like at a core level, we all have the same issue.
Exactly.
Ultimately, it's gatekeeping.
It's gatekeeping.
Whether it's
Right.
gender, race, religion, creed, whatever based. It's the idea that we adopted. We're older than people now, but when we adopted nerdism and nerd culture, it was a place that was it was a place we went that was outside of the social norm. It was a safe haven, and the idea that we wouldn't openly invite anybody else into a place, knowing that we had been at one point or another bullied or rejected, and we were fully fucking aware of how that felt. fact that we somebody that is given that understanding would ever
Do the same thing.
do the same thing to somebody else is it's unfathomable. I don't fucking get it. I don't understand it. Everything that we love about nerd culture has this baseline morality, the story in it, and we know what good people are and what bad people are.
Unless you're a Sword of Truth fan, then you're probably definitely toxic as fuck.
Yeah, you know.
Okay.
But yeah, it seems like it seems like at a core level we all have the same problem, and I like that about us.
All right. That ends that segment about what makes you mad or why we're mad. The last part of this thing we want to do is that as all show or all segments, at the end of the segment, we talk about please leaving a comment down below. And we gotta be true to our word. If you leave comments, we're gonna read it. And if we disagree, we will offer you disagree. You're more than welcome to leave another comment and we can link up and get you on a show. Thank you guys again for listening and watching the N.word for Nerd podcast. It's a pleasure bringing this show to you all. Thank you again. We made it up to 2,000 subscribers, and also thank you for people who commented. If you do, or if you can, we really, really would like to go even higher than 2,000. And how you can do that? If you like, share, and subscribe our content on YouTube, Facebook. If you're listening to us on the audio version, you could definitely tell somebody, hey, I got a dope podcast you should listen to, and tell some friends on that because we're on Spotify, we're on Apple Podcasts, not Apple Pie, but Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts, and Anchor FM under Head Cannon Circus. So, guys, thank you so much, as well as Jaron. I mean, I always got to remember because you just every time I think of this, I think of you because you're such a lovely human being. Always remember to hit the notification bell on YouTube so you can be notified when we do post new material. And yeah, as always, Jaron, any final thoughts?
No, yeah, you got it all. We'll hitting that bell makes a sacrifice to the algorithm gods, and we'll show up in more screens and more places so other people can just happen upon us. So do us that solid. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Jason, any final words?
Also, subscribing is free. No matter where you go, subscribing is free. It doesn't cost you anything to subscribe to us. So even if you don't listen to us, subscribe.
Yeah.
I love you guys. Be kind. Tip your bartenders 20%.
And thank you all for listening. We will see you all next time, and peace.